With the conclusion of FNCS Global's 2024, the most recent year of Fortnite competitive is beginning to wrap up, and it is safe to say it was a spectacle throughout. To send off the year, Epic Games is continuing the tradition of including an OG season at the end of the year. Fortnite Battle Royale was released 7 years ago now, and it is clear that its history matters. And throughout its 7-year history, there has always been competition. So in lieu of the OG season, I figured it would be fitting to take a look back at every single year of Fortnite and answer the question of who was the best. Specifically, who was the best player during every year of Fortnite's existence. From its humble beginnings in 2017 to the esports Goliath it is now, this is the best player in every year of Fortnite history. 2017 was a relatively uneventful year in the history of Fortnite, as it was the year the game was released. Additionally, the game was only played in the latter half of that year. 2017 Fortnite entails Season 1 and the very start of Season 2, so who was the best player of this time frame? The first player to consider for this title is High Distortion. High Distortion was a former Gears of War pro who was immediately good at the start of Fortnite. He had great aim and game sense, and was one of the best fighters of the time, putting up insane numbers in solo squads. Next person to consider is Mr. Grims. Grims was one of the best H1Z1 players before Fortnite, so his skills transferred over seamlessly. He was one of the first players to really utilize building, and this allowed him to also put up insane numbers in solo squads like High Distortion did, making him one of the best players at the time. However, I think the best benchmark of skill for this time were the very few tournaments hosted at this time. In December of 2017, a couple of custom matches were hosted, with all of the most notable faces of the game playing, such as Myth and Svenos, and 2 of these games were won by Daquan. Along with the 2 game wins, Daquan also had the most kills of anyone in the tournament, showing his mechanical prowess went beyond just pub stomping. Along with these invitational wins, Daquan was a revolutionary when it came to metas, with his gameplay causing the meteoric rise of the double pump meta. Because of all these factors, I think it is safe to say Daquan was the best player of 2017 Fortnite. 2018 was probably the hardest year to decide a best player for. You see, 2018 started out like 2017, relatively uneventful for competitive. However, a couple months into the year, the pro scene developed fast with the advent of scrim discords. Not long after, Epic began hosting official tournaments, and from there it was off to the races. But before we get into the best players of 2018, like and subscribe if you're enjoying the video so far, as less than 98% of you are subscribed. The first notable player of 2018 was Metro. Despite playing from EU, which had a much less fleshed out competitive scene in the early days, Metro was still on top. Metro placed top 5 in every single summer skirmish week, winning 2 of those. He additionally won 2 fall skirmish weeks, and to cap off his 2018, he would place 3rd in the Winter Royale finals. And while PR is kind of a meme nowadays, it is worth noting that Metro finished at the very top of the PR leaderboards in 2018. However, due to him not attending the PAX West LAN and placing poorly at TwitchCon, I don't think he is the best of 2018. Next in contention is Tfue. What differentiates Tfue from the rest of the players here is his longevity throughout 2018. Tfue was dominating even before Epic hosted tournaments, running through community hosted tournaments such as Friday Fortnite like nothing. However, his summer skirmish run was relatively weak, with a 27th at PAX West to finish it off. But his fall skirmish run more than makes up for it, winning 3 of the 6 weeks, including the TwitchCon LAN. But no 2018 player was as consistent as Bizzle, who is the best player of that year in my opinion. Bizzle placed 2nd on 5 separate occasions throughout the skirmish days, with one of those being at the PAX West solo LAN. Additionally, Bizzle placed 4th at the TwitchCon finals, which is unrivaled consistency for 2018 tournaments. So while other players may have had higher peaks, Bizzle overall just had unrivaled consistency. 2019 was really the year that Fortnite cemented itself as one of the top esports in the world, only being rivaled by Dota in terms of prize pool. 2019 is also when the foundation of modern day competitive began to take shape, with online tournaments open to all players being the primary focus as opposed to invite only LANs. Now of course, when people think of 2019 they think of the Fortnite World Cup and Bugha. Bugha is most famously known for being the winner of the Solo World Cup, nearly doubling the points of 2nd place. There is no denying Bugha was the best player at the World Cup that day, however, the rest of his year didn't go so great. Bugha placed near the bottom of the leaderboard for both Trio and Squad FNCS. While it is obviously not all Booga's fault for these poor placements, he definitely contributed to it. So despite his unrivaled World Cup win, the inconsistency in placements isn't too great for his case. Keeping with the theme of World Cup wins, next contender is Aqua. Aqua began his year with a bang by double qualifying for the World Cup. He didn't place well in solos, but he won the duos tournament, and it was clear he was a carry of that duo. Aqua would carry on this momentum into trio FNCS, winning that in dominant fashion as well. However, Aqua didn't play squad FNCS as he took a break from the game, so while there is no denying he was one of the best players in the world, the lack of playtime doesn't help his case to be the best. But on players who remained consistently great through 2019 was Skite, who I think is the best player of 2019. Skite started his year off with an insane performance at the ESL Katowice LAN, placing 5th in solos and 6th in duos. Skite would then double qualify for the World Cup, placing insanely well in both, with a 10th in duos and 7th in solos. Skite unfortunately missed out on qualification for Trio Grand Finals, but brought it back by placing 3rd in Squad Grand Finals. So just like Bizzle, while others had higher peaks, Skite's consistency throughout was unrivaled. If 2019 built the foundation of modern competitive Fortnite, 2020 cemented it. Due to a certain worldwide event, online tournaments were a big focus, and throughout 2020, there were 2 players in particular that dominated throughout. First was Andalex. Andalex had a great start to 2020, placing 6th at the only LAN held that year, which was DreamHack Anaheim. He would carry over this momentum by winning Duo FNCS and then placing 6th in the Solo Invitational. However, he saw a lull in the middle of the year, missing out on qualification for Solo FNCS, but in the end, he brought it back with the 2nd place in Stark season. But there is only one player who left his mark in 2020 and rose to the top of the GOAT debate, and that is Tayson. Tayson started off with a subpar performance in duos, however, he would bring it back with an insane run in solos. Tayson would place 5th in the Invitational, 7th in DreamHack July, and most importantly, win Solo FNCS. Then right after, Tayson would win Trio FNCS with a historic performance with Mongrel and Mitro. 2021 was more of the same for Fortnite competitive, as Epic refused to host LANs during this year, which was unfortunate, but FNCS still ran and many players had amazing years. Tayson continued his domination of 2020 into 2021. Tayson started 2021 with an 8th in Season 5 FNCS Finals, a good placement but not usual Tayson caliber, so in Season 6 he stepped it up with a 3rd and then not long after won the Solo Invitational FNCS, cementing his spot as the greatest solo player of all time. He would finish 5th in the Season 7 Grand Finals and an unfortunate 16th in the Season 8 Grand Finals. Fortunately, he bounced back and ended off the year by winning the Grand Royale. Now, this is one hell of a year, but there is one player who did even better, and that is Miro. Miro rose to prominence in late 2020, but it was in 2021 where he really became the best in the world. Miro started the year off with a 4th in Season 5 Grands and a win in Season 6 Grands. Season 7 didn't quite go his way though, with subpar placements in both the Solo Invitational and Trio FNCS Finals of that season. But that didn't matter, as he would team up with Booga and go on a historic 3-peat, with the Season 8 and Grand Royale wins both being in 2021. So of the 4 different Trio FNCS Grand Finals that happened in 2021, Miro won 3 of them. There is simply no one player that had better placements in 2021 than Miro did. 2022 began the era of Fortnite we are all familiar with today, with chapters lasting exactly a year now, with that year's entire competitive season being contained within it, and with the return of LANs, competitive was beginning to look up. In that year, 2 players really stood out the most. Fittingly, the title for second best of 2022 goes to Thomas HD. Thomas kicked off the year with back-to-back 3rd places in the FNCS Grand Finals. He would then go back-to-back and getting 6th at Gamers 8 LAN and the Season 3 FNCS. And when it came time for Invitational, Thomas performed well, getting 4th. But like with all things in Thomas's career, someone is always first ahead of him, and that is Queasy. Queasy started off 2022 by winning the Season 1 Grand Finals, but getting an unfortunate 8th in Season 2. However, he quickly turned this around and placed 5th and 3rd in Gamers 8 and Season 3 FNCS Grands respectively. And to cap it off, he would just barely miss out on winning Invitational, getting 2nd place. While Kami and Seti did have that one very memorable LAN win at the end of the year, the unrivaled consistency both Thomas and Queasy showed beats them out, and Queasy's placements in specific really set him apart from every other player. 2023 is more of the same in terms of format, and this is where picks start becoming much less individual due to duos format being locked in for so long now, and two duos in particular had a better 2023 than all others. The first of these duos is Cooper and Miro. Both players performed poorly in the first FNCS, but when they teamed up for Season 2 and onward, magic happened. They placed 2nd and 9th in the next two FNCS, but what they are most well known for is their 2023 Globals win. Despite this, I think Kami and Seti have the edge and get the title as the best players of 2023. Kami and Seti also performed poorly in the first FNCS on 2023. However, they turned it around, placing 5th and 4th in the next two grand finals, respectively, and then at 2023 Globals they placed 2nd, really being the only team at that tournament that could contend with Cooper and Miro. Now, if you really wanted to pick one of these players, you could say Kami is better overall due to his Gamers 8 LAN win, but that was a Mickey Mouse no-builds tournament, so take it as you wish. And for 2024, I'm not even going to waste any time. Peterbot and Poyo just embarrassed the entire Fortnite competitive scene, and there is clearly no one better than them at the moment. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see similar content, then like, subscribe, follow my socials, and check out the video on your screen now.